G'day and welcome to the show. Today is the second episode in our three-part journey from Mari all the way through to Birdsville, and I've got my good mate Rick O'Brien along with me again from the Off-Road Adventure Show. G'day Rico, how are you?
Hello mate, well we're here in the heart of Alice Springs at the Tatts Finke Desert Race, and I tell you what, this stuff right here, this floats my boat, mate.
And the whole lot has been brought to you thanks to our good mates at Windsor Caravans, Oricom and Market Direct Campers. So jump on, come along with us as we show you what's up down under.
It's time to see this land of wonder. It's time to go and see what's up down under. What's up down under?
We're currently at the midway point of our three-episode journey where we've travelled from Mari in South Australia across the WUDU track to right here in Alice Springs, where we'll hang out for the Tatts Finke Desert Race before heading off to Birdsville through the mighty Simpson Desert.
With a bit of help from our partners at Red Arc and Windsor Caravans, I'm travelling and staying in the Silhouette XC, suitable for that tough terrain.
Travelling with us on this trip, we're lucky enough to have David Cook from Tough Dog Suspension to help us navigate through the outback.
Rounding off our team is the off-road ready Alicia from Market Direct Campers in her Robson XTT.
As seen at the end of last week's episode, we're lucky enough to be staying at the beautiful MacDonnell Ranges Holiday Park.
MacDonnell Range Holiday Park's one of my favourites in Alice Springs. I've stayed there a lot of times in the past. Good hospitality, good park, good facilities, all clean, everyone's smiling. So it's a nice place, you know. You've always done a long drive when you turn up into Alice Springs, and it's nice to pull into a place that feels a little bit like home. Well, I'm no stranger to the MacDonnell Ranges Holiday Park. I've been here plenty of times, and as always, they've turned it on for it's got all the facilities you're looking for in a good, relaxing holiday park. But this time, something extra, because we've turned up just in time for the Finke Desert Race, and of course, all the competitors are staying here, all the spectators are staying here, so there's a whole new buzz around the place and a whole new lot of stuff to look at. So you're here to race or to look?
I'm here to look. Supporting young Benny Russell.
Yeah, right, eh?
He's here for the second time.
So what's he break him, you fix him?
Yeah.
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 It's a relationship built in hell. Well, it looks like everything here is Tatts Finke Desert Race. I better go out and check that race out for myself. But while I do that, why don't you check this out from Oricom? Travelling the Simpson Desert is the perfect place to have the DTX 4200 from Oricom, and I'll tell you why. Because out here you have to monitor channel 10. That's where you're going to find out if you've got any oncoming traffic coming towards you, because you can't see them. The sand dunes are in the way, of course. But we still want to have some banter in amongst the convoy and just have our conversations as we do during the day without annoying everyone else that's in the Simpson Desert. Flick the Oricom on and you can listen to and receive two channels at once. Basically, you've got two UHF radios with you everywhere you go without having to have two handpieces. I teamed the DTX 4200 up with a handheld from Oricom, and then when it's time to reverse your caravan or your trailer or make your way through an obstacle out there when you're four-wheel driving, someone can get out of the vehicle and you can stay in communication with them while you're getting yourself out of strife. Why wouldn't you?
Once we're all settled in, it's time to head on over and see the scrutineering for the Tatts Finke Desert Race.
I'd never had anything to do with off-road racing. You know, I've been for a run in a couple of buggies over the years, but not at an official event. So to get there and see the pace everything was happening at was pretty interesting, actually. And what really caught me was how open the competitors were to have a chat to us, because, you know, I would have thought they would have been a bit uptight and a bit focused on what they were doing, but they just sort of welcomed us in and talked about their cars and where they were from, and yeah, it was a good afternoon. Now, Michael's one of the competitors here at the Finke Desert Race this year. Michael, wild-looking bit of gear. Did you build this yourself?
Yeah, we come out in 2015 and had a look, and by the time I got home, I'd built one in my head. And yeah, 12 months later, we rolled out, and we come and had a crack last year. And
So what can you tell me about it?
It's just a 93 Triton.
Yeah, it looks like a 93 Triton, very similar.
This is production two-wheel drive plus. So
What's still left on it that's 93 Triton?
the doors.
The doors.
So I'm here with Jody, who's driving an FJ Cruiser here at the Tatts Finke Desert Race. Jody, you're obviously a person of very high class and distinction. What brings you here to race?
Basically, the Finke, I came out to watch it last year and I saw how entertaining it was, and I thought I could give this a go, and My road car's actually an FJ, and so when I saw this one for sale, I thought I have to do it in an FJ.
So they've put on a whole festival type atmosphere there, and they've got a band on the first night, you know, food stalls, all the merchandise was there, so the fans could buy stuff from their teams and they could catch up with their favourite drivers.
The fans out there, they were just absolutely ravenous. They were looking for everything they could get. They were all over Macca like a rash, you wouldn't believe it. He attracts all kinds. It was fun to watch.
Have you got someone in this race that you know?
Not in my family, but I do know Toby Price.
Oh, do ya? Is he a mate of yours?
Not really.
You reckon you could have a word with him and see if we could have a chat to him? You reckon you could do that for us?
Yes.
Oh, mate, line it up for us and you'll forever be my best mate. Long story short, he became my best mate, and that will be coming up later in the show.
On today's show, we go to the Alice Springs market.
We prepare our vehicles to tackle the Simpson Desert.
And we get to watch the time trials of the Tatts Finke Desert Race.
But stick around, because after the break, we go to the Alice Springs Desert Park.
What's up down under?
G'day, Macca here. This journey has been made possible by our partners at Market Direct Campers and Off-Road Caravans. To find out more and to see all the latest models, just log on to marketdirect.com.au.
There are plenty of things to see and do while you're staying in Alice Springs, and one place we decided to check out was the Alice Springs Desert Park.
Another of the places you must visit when you're in Alice Springs is, of course, the Alice Springs Desert Park. Now, I've been lucky enough to catch up with Renata that works here to get the inside line on what's good to see. Renata, what have we got here at the park?
So the park is situated in the West MacDonnell Ranges and is separated into 3 habitats. We've got desert rivers, sand country, and the natural habitat, the woodland habitat.
Are there any real highlights of the park that people just love to do?
Yeah, so we've got our free flight bird show. Also, we've got the largest nocturnal house in the Southern Hemisphere, kangaroos and emus as well.
And you can get up close and personal with one of the eagles here, I hear.
Yes, you can, yeah.
And I have actually got out and organised something a little earlier for my mate Rick, and for him today, the eagle has landed.
So how old is Aurora?
He's 9 this year, and he's getting darker and darker. So the older they get, the darker they get.
Yeah. We see them on the side of the road quite often, and they get a fair bit bigger than this, don't they?
They do. So he's a small wedgetail. He was found just out of Darwin. So the further north that you go, the smaller the eagles get.
Yep. Well, he is absolutely magnificent up close. This is something else. The eagle was really cool, but there was so much else to see. The nocturnal display, that really knocked me for 6. There was so much going on in there. There was snakes, spiders, scorpions. It was really, really cool. And then there was the kangaroos outside as well. Those blokes were pretty huge. I wouldn't want to pick one of them. Well, mate, the Alice Springs Desert Park, what a corker.
Absolutely top spot to visit, but I reckon we need to get back out to the Tatts Finke Desert Race now. Well, this is what we came for, the Tatts Finke Desert Race.
Mate, it's dusty, it's noisy, there's horsepower galore. I tell you what, I'm in my happy place.
So the first day of the race, all the competitors have to turn up and they do a different course to what the actual race is to work out where they're going to start the next day and where they sit in the field. And they give it their all. There's plenty of noise and there's plenty of dust, and there was a few tears and there was a few high fives around as well.
The time trials, or the prologue as it's known, that was absolutely awesome. It gave me an opportunity to get a few good photos there as well. And the crowd, they were right into it. They were cheering on their favourites. Anytime someone from Alice Springs came through, the crowd went absolutely nuts.
As things were starting to heat up, we were lucky enough to catch up with Toby Price, one of the stars on show.
Well, we're here with 5-time winner on the dirt bikes, Toby Price, here at the Tatts Finke Desert Race. How you going, mate?
Good, mate, good. Cruising along, and we've just had prologue this morning in the truck. We're here, we're enjoying it, having a great time.
So, mate, tell me, going back to the beginning, where did the love of off-road come from?
Look, yeah, I grew up way out west in the middle of New South Wales, and I've always loved going out camping on where I grew up on the farm, and but yeah, that's where the love of motorcycle racing and dirt bike stuff was basically helping muscle the sheep and cattle.
Us as tourers and you as a racer, we've both got something in common in that we've got to look after our gear to get to where we're going. What's your tips for getting the most out of your gear?
Yeah, that's it, for sure. These things have got a lot of moving parts, and that's the same with caravans, and people travel all around the world with that, so you definitely have to keep on top of the maintenance, and it's good to see so many campers come out here for the Finke and enjoy how mad we are at motorsport racing.
Yeah, you've been doing it for a long time at the top level. How do you keep it fun?
That's the thing. It definitely gets very difficult to keep it fun, but I've got a lot of great support from spectators and fans and everything. And yeah, I think every day you see those guys and how pumped they are to meet us and be excited that they're here at the event and be on the same track that Toby Price has raced on. It definitely sets it home and it makes you feel pretty pumped.
Well, mate, thank you so much for your time. I know you're a busy boy this weekend. We'll be cheering you on from the sidelines.
No worries, mate. We'll see you down the track. We'll probably get on the horn and give you a bit of a cheer as we go by.
Look forward to it.
Well, while the racing continues here, I'm going to go and catch up with some Market Direct Campers action with Alicia. So what's happening at the Taj Mahal this morning, Alicia?
Just putting the finishing touches up on the camper, a bit of the end of the setup.
It's an impressive setup. You know, where did it all start from?
Oh, it's a very special story behind this camper. MDC as a whole, we're a pretty big family, and we've actually had one of our staff members recently pass away, Steve Robson. He was very much an icon in the industry.
He certainly was.
Yeah, so in his honour, we asked the family to name a camper basically for him, and we wanted to make sure it was the right camper. So he has 6 kids at home, quite a big family. We wanted to make sure that obviously they'd be comfortable if they came away in this.
So what sort of things did they look at when they wanted to put together that camper that was in memory of Dad and something that people would get out and enjoy?
Main thing was they've got the 6 kids, so they wanted to make sure everybody would fit. They wanted to make sure that it was off-road. Robbo was very much about his off-roading and very known for it as well. So we wanted to make sure that it was definitely something he would have approved on. Something that he would have wanted to sell to people and be happy to sell to people and be able to get out and enjoy himself.
So what sort of features is it that makes the Robbo?
So you've got the big club lounge inside, you've got the 2 beds at either end, you've also got the stereo system. He loved his music at night, especially when he was out in the bush, so definitely got the stereo there, the speakers on the outside. You've got the table. It's really quick and easy to go down and up. Now, nothing against Robbo, but he didn't like a lot of hard work at times, so so it's nice and easy to be able to do.
I know a bloke a bit like him.
And just the comfortability. He really enjoyed being able to cook outside, being able to get out by the campfire, but then be able to go to bed and have a really good night's sleep.
I know Robbo, and he'd have been very proud of what's sitting out here today, all set up. He'd have been having an absolute ball out here with us.
No, definitely. That's why we've got the hut. It's popped up on the camper there. That's the finishing touch, and he's always with me on this trip.
Well, yourself and the team and the family have done a magnificent job of putting it together. I want to go and check it out.
Yeah, go for it, mate.
Well, I reckon off-road racing is all about suspension. So here's Rick to talk to Cookie from Tough Dog Suspension for some gear for your car.
Well, Cookie, it's been an awesome trip so far, mate, and as usual, the trucks are performing absolutely flawlessly. And one of the things that impresses me about Tough Dog is their extensive dealer network.
Our dealer network is one of our strengths as a brand. We've got people in just about every town who can help you out if you do happen to have a problem on the road.
And all of the guys in the Tough Dog dealer network are trained in suspension, aren't they?
Absolutely, mate. Our strength is our dealer network and making sure those guys on the ground are equipped to help you out if you're out and about.
Mate, if people want to get in touch with their nearest Tough Dog dealer, what's the best way?
You can jump onto our website, which is toughdog.com.au.
Stick around because after the break, we hit the markets.
What's up, down under?
This journey has been made possible by our partners at Track Trailer. To find out more and see all the latest models, just log on to tracktrailer.com.au. Well, it seems like every corner we turn in Alice Springs brings another adventure, and we have just discovered the local markets.
Mate, I'm ready to go and get myself a bit of culture.
Oh, that could take a bit of doing. Let's do it.
So we rocked into Alice Springs and lo and behold, there's a market on. And now I'm a sucker for a market, I love a bargain. So we spent plenty of time having a look through there, and there was a lady doing some drawing. So I thought, you know what, why not? I'm a handsome fella, I'm gonna get myself a portrait, did the thinker, come up great. Can you make me look attractive, please? I doubt it. You're only human.
Pencil drawing?
I wonder if they're going to get the wrinkles on the top of his head.
The local markets here in Alice Springs are a real hub for the local artists, and they're always looking for some talent to pose so they can come up with their next creation that is hopefully going to put them on the map. This lady here, however, she's missed the mark a little bit. Have a look what we've got over here.
There you go, Rick.
Thank you. Look at that. Looks just like me. I don't know about you, mate, but I reckon this looks just like me.
Just like something out of a wanted poster, I reckon. I reckon we better get back to the park too and get our gear together because we need to get sorted and ready to go and cross the Simpson Desert. Most people will plan a trip across the Simpson Desert for months, perhaps even years. It's a big journey and you need to have your gear right for it. So, you know, the last couple of days of getting ready for this trip when we left Alice Springs was fairly detailed. I mean, we're very fortunate that the people we travel with are experienced. You know, we've got the leaders in their fields and that's why we go out in the bush with them. Can I give you a hand with that, Alicia?
Yeah, please, mate. Just
what have I got to do?
Just push it over.
Just push it over.
Yep.
I'm not going to handle it, I'm pushing it. Hey, we're about to head off across the Simpson Desert. That's what we're getting ready for.
Yep.
Have you got any hot tips for people that are about to tow across a desert?
Yeah, look, obviously make sure that you go over the trailer, you check everything. Also making sure for safety that you definitely have all of your water topped up, you've got your gas bottles topped up, everything ready to go. Last thing you want is to head out there and not have those. Weight distribution is a massive thing as well, making sure all of your weight's over your axles, and just general maintenance on the trailer.
So where you load your gear in your trailer should be specific to the type of trip you're about to do.
Most definitely, and if you're over the axles, then basically you've got all of your weight over those axles, which means that you're not going to have sway at the back and you're not going to be bouncing at the front either.
Awesome. Well, there you go. There's some good tips from Alicia. I feel like we're having a bit of a win here today. And if you'd like to have a win too, why don't you check out our competitions, both online or on the show, like this one. What's Up Down Under have teamed up with the Caravan Industry Association Victoria, Go Make Some Memories and New Age Caravans to help you get your Gecko on. But this competition ends soon. New Age Caravans is still giving you the chance to win a brand new Gecko Caravan valued at over $50,000. The Gecko from New Age has a lightweight compact design, which means you can still enjoy all the comforts on the road without it taking up too much space. The Gecko features the tough Alco Enduro suspension, 15-inch alloy wheels and plenty more so you can travel in comfort anywhere. For the runner-up prize, our mates at Chemec are giving away a $1,000 gift voucher. There are also monthly prizes to be won, including 6 $500 Chemec vouchers and 6 Family Parks vouchers valued at over $150 each. You can enter every day of the competition and all you have to do is log on to whatsupdownunder.com.au, click on our competitions page and follow the prompts. So get your New Age Gecko on and go make some memories. Enter now because this competition is ending soon.
Stick around because after the break we pack up and head towards the Simpson Desert.
What's up down under?
This journey's been made possible by our partners at Windsor Caravans. To find out more and to see all the latest models, just log on to windsorcaravans.com.au.
When you're out on the road, communication is vital, and the best way to stay in touch with your convoy is with Oricom. To find out how you can win big with Oricom, just head to the competitions page at whatsupdownunder.com.au. Well, there's heaps of great prizes to be won, so get online and register now. Windsor Caravans are all about providing superior quality and comfort to match, and that can be seen in the tough Windsor Silhouette XC camper featured on this episode. You can see their full range just by logging on to windsorcaravans.com.au.
It was time for us to pack up in Alice Springs as we were about to head on over to Mount Dare, our last stop before we crossed the Simpson Desert. So everyone was doing their final preparations.
So we're basically just spending a bit of time now going over, double checking things. We've got a good few bodies we're taking across the desert, which means we've got a lot of food, we've got a lot of water and all that sort of stuff. Got to get it packed in because when you go over the top of the dunes, it's all about everything moving around inside the vehicles, and we don't want that happening because it's loads shifting, making life more difficult and damaging stuff, of course. So we get all that packed in properly, then we start preparing stuff like our desert flags, and we'll be good to go.
Mate, I have become the designated freezer for all of our meat goods. Fresh meat on the road, can't beat it. Which reminds me I should probably turn this down a bit. There we go. And potato jammies. Can't leave home without the comforts, mate.
So we're just putting some water into the Waco so we can stay hydrated while we're out in the desert.
Hey, it's that time of the trip. You've been on the road for a few days. When you're living out of the vehicle like I am, it gets to be a bit of a mess. So before we hit the desert, I'm gonna pull everything out and repack the car so I know where everything is. It's all nice and neat, and my OCD can settle down a little bit.
As we left Alice Springs and headed towards Mount Dare, we started to think about what we were going to see when we crossed the desert.
So I've never been to the Simpson Desert. It's definitely been a bucket list item for me for quite some time. I'm really looking forward to mainly actually the stars at night and being able to actually see those. I've heard some pretty amazing stories, I've seen some really nice photos, and I'm really looking forward to that.
You can expect it to be a bit of a challenging run across the desert this time round, just because of the sheer number of traffic that's come through after the Finke race. Going to be a fair few corrugations and a lot of cut-up sections travelling up the upside of the dunes. Shouldn't be too much of a problem for us, but something to be mindful of.
So the run from Alice into Mount Dare, it's quite a few Ks, and we ended up leaving a little bit later than we would have liked, which happens on the road. You've got to be flexible with these things. But the advantage of that was we were treated to this amazing sunset. Now, I get to spend a lot of time out in the bush with the Off-Road Adventure Show, so we get to see a lot of pretty cool sunsets. And I'm telling you, there is nothing that compares to an outback sunset, and we got an absolute corker yesterday. Well, unfortunately, that's all we've got time for this week.
And it's all been thanks to our good mates at Windsor Caravans, Oricom, and of course, Market Direct Campers.
So make sure you join us next week as we hit the mighty Simpson Desert.
Woo-hoo-hoo! There'll be some sand flying there, so make sure you come and join us as we show you
what's up down under.
What's up down under?